Three ways to grow your audience and your revenue. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Uh, how many times have you ever created a course that you're promoting? Maybe you're wanting to launch a new product, um, a program, a webinar, anything like that. And when you put it out there, you're just not getting the results you want. You're not getting the people coming in, and the numbers just aren't there. You may be getting some results, but you're wanting more. There's one key element that you've got to continually be working on, and it's at your audience growth. If we're not growing our audience daily, consistently, we are going to get stale, stagnant, and feel defeated. And it's no fun, no place to be, no fun at all. So I'm going to talk today about the three ways. There's more, there's a lot more. There's a ton of ways to grow your audience, but these are, I feel like, three key ways. And then I'm going to add a little extra to it. One way to grow your audience, and for those of you who do not know who I am, my name is Tanya Smith, and I'm a social media, digital marketing expert, video marketing, and I help my clients and people that want to dominate social media, that get rid of that struggle bus on social media to do so without that burnout, without that feeling of constantly that hamster wheel constantly going. And one way I do that is I offer a content creation membership to help and show up every week, get questions answered. A lot of times, the problem we have with as entrepreneurs, and I know this because I talked to quite a few, is we feel like we're just going at this alone. We feel like when we have that question and answer, just so that feedback we want, there's no one there to do that with. And so I have a weekly coffee chat that I offer. But in that process, we find that I found that what we really need is that one-on-one, that help with getting your questions answered, that support. And so that's one reason why I opened up this content creation club last year. And it has been very helpful for those that come in and be able to, just ask, help, I need help. Can you help me in this area? So this year we branched out. We went a lot further, a lot bigger. We're like branching beyond just content. We are going into creating the sales system. Right. So part of the sales system is audience growth. And one thing I've discovered recently is I was growing my audience quite a bit. I grew last year exponentially. But it needs to be on a consistent basis. And so I come into January and I go, oh, we need to grow our audience. How are the ways to do that? Where do I start? Right? Where do you start? Where do you start with your audience growth? If you're consistently doing that, great. Let me know. Hey, good morning. I'm glad I can jump. Yes, I'm so glad you could jump on. I don't know your name. So you either have to give StreamYard permission or just tell me. So one of the ways to do this is leverage value-driven content. And so I'm going to dive into that in just a little bit. So when you're creating and sharing content that genuinely addresses, oh, Prissy, oh, good, Prissy, I'm so glad you're here. Prissy is an amazing artist. I am so excited. Oh, it's Amy Lemire. Hey, good to see you, Amy. Amy is amazing. Oh my gosh, I'm just going to shout out Amy for a minute. I have been to some retreats where she has done some created your own essence in perfume, and it's not perfume, but we won't go into that. But to raise your vibration using scents, and it's amazing, y'all. You need to look her up. Okay, so create and share content that genuinely addresses your audience's pain. Right? We've talked about that. What is the thing that the people, if you don't know who your audience is, just break it down. This is how simple it can be. It doesn't have to be, you don't have, it helps. Good morning, Rudy. It does help to have all the details of your ideal avatar. There's nothing wrong with that. But if that's stopping you, if that's keeping you stuck, then what are the struggles that your ideal person is struggling with? What is the solution that you can offer? What are their interests? What questions that come up? Now, in the content club last month, we dove into that. How do you know what your audience is asking for? The exact wording they're using, so then you get content around that. This could be through you can do this through blog posts, engaging videos, you can do podcasts, um, social media content. I mean, that is not it's not just social media where you can put this out there. So value-driven content is one way. And so then once you put that value out there, and I know, you've probably heard that, bring value, but are you doing a call to action? And this is the key. This is the key to value-driven content. So many times, we think by putting all that value out there, uh, or just showing your lifestyle, all the content we put out there, and if you don't have a very clear call to action. Now sometimes you don't, sometimes your call to action could just be you're wanting to nourish and grow your friends and all that. But when you're wanting to create leverage and income and revenue, you need to have a very good call to action leading you to a sign up form, your email list, something where you can invite them to the next step. But you gotta find out who's interested, right? You've got to find out who's coming to you saying, um you're welcome, Amy. You gotta know who's coming to you, who's wants to come to you. You've got to find the interest first, and that is why you gotta know what are they struggling with, and can you offer that solution, and make sure you offer that solution. I mean, how many times have I seen this? And I've been through that. I've seen it on with myself. I realized, when I had a coach first when I was first dove into marketing, because 'cause I'm like, "Oh, I love this whole thing about marketing." And I hired a coach to help me, and she said, "Well, you're a covert operative." And I said, "What do you mean?" She goes, I don't even know what you sell." I was so worried about being spammy, I wouldn't put anything out there. And so you don't wanna do that. You want people to know how you can help them. It's not about being salesy. It's about how can you help them, and then what solution is there. So, the next thing is these are kinda obvious things, but I think by breaking them down, it might help clarify some things. So, the next thing is a social media strategy. What social media platforms are you gonna be on? Where is your audience? This is a great way to, reach new audiences. Um, but also, you don't wanna ever forget, because a lot of times we're looking for that new person. You wanna, like, deepen the connections of your existing followers. And so how can you do that? These platforms are great places to showcase who you are, showcase your brand personality, how you serve people. Then share that valuable content, and then that way it kinda can lead to those valuable conversations. Now, I know some of you say, "I don't wanna talk to anybody. I don't wanna have that. I don't wanna spend time on calls with people. Nobody will come on calls with me." Well, first of all, if you think no one's gonna come on a call with you, you gotta fix that mindset, okay? Um, but you wanna create an environment that encourages your followers to subscribe to your email list. So, you could create if you have a group you're in, or participate in things, giveaways, contests, do a live Q&A session that requires an email registration to participate. There's a lot of things you can do on your social media platforms to get those conversations going, and then inviting people to the and it's ideal to have a freebie, right? It's great because it makes it simple. Hey, if this is something you need, my 9 mistakes to avoid when creating an email list. By the way, I have that freebie if anybody wants one. Um, if you don't want to make mistakes creating this email list, but you could just be inviting people to your email list. You don't have to have a freebie. You can say, "Hey, I help people with this. I offer a lot of tips." So I have a friend that does recipes, amazing recipes. And so one of the things she can do, and she's done, is, "Hey, I have these amazing recipes that I send out every month or every week or whatever. And when you want to be on my email list?" Well, of course I do. Who doesn't, right? We all want good recipes. The thing is, you can Google recipes. You can Google a lot of these solutions. You may think, well, people can Google the answer, but can they Google the answer they know works? Can they Google that recipe they know is a good recipe? That takes that person saying, "This works. This recipe is delicious." I want you to think about that. When you start getting that mind of, "Well, Beth, you can just go." I've done that before. I'm like, "People can Google this." Like, doesn't everyone know this? Not everyone knows it, number 1. Just because you know it doesn't mean the world knows it. So number 3, offering free webinars or workshops. This is a powerful way to grow your audience and your email list simultaneously. So you're going to choose a topic, first of all, that's very relevant. You're going to make sure that it's relevant and very beneficial to draw their interest. Now, email list, I'm not promoting email list growth, right? But that's what I'm talking about this month. You may hear email list, you may hear email, but I'm going to be focusing on what do you want? You want to grow your audience and you want to increase your revenue. So think about the relevancy and the topic that is your audience is going to be drawn to. And then promote these events through your social media channels, your websites, email, partner with other people, do interview swaps, things like that. And then this is the key that can help you with your email list growth. Because even if they don't buy anything from your webinar, even if they don't attend your webinar, now they're on your list. You want to have them register some way. Now you can create a Zoom webinar and you can actually, I don't know if this is on the free version of a Zoom or not, but probably not. But if you have a paid version of Zoom, you should be able to create a webinar. Now that depends on what you're wanting. Now, and I'm getting all into the weeds a little bit, but I want to go there for just a second. I want you to know that it doesn't have to be high tech. If you already have Zoom, go in there, create a webinar, and it will have people register, and voila, they're on your list. Or at least they've given, if you have it set up that way. If you have an autoresponder, I use Aweber. Aweber is amazing. I love using it. It's simple. If you have an autoresponder, create some kind of landing page. It's super simple. Once they sign up, it's automatically. You can have them go into a special, tag them, have them go to a special list if you have more than one list that you can have. If some of that you're like, I don't even know what you're talking about, list. I don't want to talk about tagging. Okay, that's fine. Then you need to be in my content club because we go into that. I can do, there's trainings and things like that that we're going to be coming up this year. It's going to be really exciting. All right. So I think I covered everything of the 3 things I wanted to talk about. So I hope that was beneficial. I hope that gave you some like, okay, this really is things I'm already doing. I want you to see that. You're probably already creating content. You're probably already bringing value to your clients. Are you doing a call to action, a clear and concise? Are you having genuine and amazing conversations with your current audience, the people that are already following you, already your friends? Are you having conversations with people that are commenting on your posts? Are you just reaching out just a little bit? You don't have to spend all day. This is, a lot of times people say, oh my God, I don't have hours to spend on that. It drives me crazy. Well, just spend 5 minutes, 10, 15, 20, 30. Is 30 minutes a day doable? All right. Well, that is what I wanted to share with you. I hope this was beneficial. If you had any questions, let me know. But in the meantime, I will see you next week, the same time. And I want to say I love y'all. And I hope you have a fabulous, fabulous rest of your week.